You're not a little girl anymore. I have a book coming out about not asking permission to invest. I feel like women ask for permission. So I'm giving you permission right now. If you're listening to this interview, you have permission to live the life you love.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Be the Connection podcast, where we dive into stories of community, mentorship, and success. My mission is to bring you inspiring conversations, real insights, and the kind of value that helps you grow. So grab a seat, settle in, and let's get connected. Our next guest is a full-time investor from Seal Beach, California. She's also a keynote speaker and best-selling author and hosts her own awesome show, Born to Be Brave. She's even interviewed the one and only Pace Morby. She's amazing at connecting with people, always cheers others on, and leads the Creative Women's Zoom, all about mindset. And her big goal is to help women get into real estate investing so they can have more freedom, choices, and options in life. She proves it's never too late to jump in. And if you're still figuring things out, if you want to learn how to spread positivity while building your own success story, you have to hear from Colleen Low. Colleen, it's a real honor to have you. Let's get connected and hear your brave story. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And I love this format because we can all help each other and learn from each other.
Yes. Tell me, before you became this powerhouse in real estate and empowerment, what was your journey like? What were you doing?
First, I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I taught middle school history and English, and I taught at a K-8 school where we taught everything. It was for homeless kids. I got into selling real estate as a realtor for 20 years, and then I'm like, what about retirement? Like, it's great that I'm helping everyone else build their portfolios and get rich and wealthy. But what about my husband and I? We were on the work until we die program. So we wanted to get off that train and onto a better train.
What was that pivotal moment or realization that made you decide, okay, this was it? This is what we're doing. We're investing into real estate.
I was writing a book about how to invest in real estate for women, and I was at my publisher's house. And what's interesting is I thought that I was getting close to having the book done. And I talked to God. He said, I don't think it's done. What about the people who don't have a high FICO score, don't have 25% down, and maybe they've been a stay-at-home mom or got a divorce or had a medical event and they had to file bankruptcy, drained them financially? In my book, I told you to do it was the traditional way. So I was like, well, I don't know how those people buy houses. I met Pace Morby at this big investment seminar in Las Vegas. And I was like, yeah, that guy seemed really nice, but I thought he was a scammer. I mean, a nice scammer, right? I did not understand what he did or his world. He owns tons of properties and businesses, and he doesn't use a bank, and he doesn't show a high FICO score. Doesn't do anything with the traditional bank. You should check into that. I met a lot of people from the community also. And I became good friends with Carly, signed up for Sub 2, and just started getting involved and figuring out how can I come from contribution? What can I contribute so I can get going in this space and learn?
Amazing. And now you're known for scattering sunshine and empowering others. So when did you realize these incredible personal strengths could actually be your superpower in real estate?
I used to be like really sunshiny when I was young, and then life didn't go as I expected it. That is how life is. Maybe you had the best laid plans, but maybe everything didn't go great. I assumed the identity of somebody who was always unhappy and was crying all the time and would complain to anyone who would listen. And I was usually either crying or complaining to someone about how awful my life was. I decided to change that. I decided not to live like that anymore and take radical responsibility for every aspect of my life and decide that I was the problem in every area of my life with my finances, family, my spouse, in my fitness and health goals. I just decided to quit blaming everyone else. The problem with that is when you blame everything on everyone else is that I don't have control over anyone else but me. I started going to seminars and hiring coaches and reading books on positive thinking. And at first they really didn't resonate with me. Once I figured it out that it really was me. My goal is to scatter sunshine everywhere I go. And that I just look for the good in everything. I don't believe in fake happiness. I'm really into gratitude. You can look for the good in any situation. And If you're sad, I think you should cry it out. I just don't think you should stay there. The problem was is I had camped out there and made it my identity. I'm just a magnet and you're a magnet. However, your being, your energy is what you're attracting into your world.
Like 100%. So true. When you first got started, joining the community, what was it like?
The first thing I did is I hopped on the Zoom with Carolyn Kane. I don't know anything. She says, "Oh, you should make a vision board." I'm like, there's my idea. Pace would always talk about come from contribution, like be a go giver, right? I'm like, I don't really think I have any talents or skill sets. I don't know anything about creative finance, right? Cool thing is this is really great advice. Assess where you're at and what your skills are. So when Carolyn Kane said that you should do a vision board, my husband and I host vision board parties for our real estate clients. I'm going to invite the sub two community to my house to make vision boards. And I just created this date. I picked it and invited people to come. Tons of people came. And then Richard Knowles posted that they needed a place to hold the Christmas party. And so I took a video of our house in our backyard really quick. And I just sent it to Richard and Mitch. I'm new. You don't know me, but I can save you a lot of money. If you want to come and have your party here, we'd love to have you. And so they ended up having the sub two party here, for everybody. And that's where I met Jason Park. What's so cute though is when Jason was leaving, he said, "Oh, I'm going to help you get your first deal." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, what was your name again? Let me get your information so I can follow up with you," right?
Yes.
But those connections all come from just really looking at what your strengths are. I'm good at parties. I'm good at hosting things. Your gift might be different. That's really how I got started. The other thing is that we have so many blind spots from our own trauma that we have in our lives. We don't even see the trauma. And when I was getting my first deal, I had a lead that I was working on that could be a deal. The last phone call was awful and the guy was kind of a jerk and that I didn't want to talk to him anymore and that he was unreasonable.
Yeah.
And so I said, that lead's dead, right? He goes, that lead is not dead, Colleen. You need to call him back. Got way too emotional and overreacted to how that guy was on the phone. I told him I would call him within the next 24 hours. It was very, very heavy to pick up my phone to call this guy, but I knew I had to. So I called that guy and I said, "Hey, I think we got off on the wrong foot. I just wanted to apologize for being overheated and over emotional. And I hope you can accept my apology." He said, "Oh, I think maybe I was a little heated too, and I hope you can accept my apology."
Yeah.
What ended up happening, I said, "This is what my husband and I are able to do. This is what we're comfortable with. Would you mind taking those numbers to your wife?" And so I just totally took a different approach to it. And that night I got a call from him. He said, "Yes, we'd love to sell our house to you." And so it worked out. And I'm so grateful I have this house.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that was your first one.
Hmm.
Wow. And now stepping into something new, making those phone calls, it's a big shift. What was the dynamic like with your closest friends and families that you embarked on this new adventure? What was it like?
I think a lot of people really do not understand creative finance and private money lending. When people don't have clarity on what you're doing and what they are going to do or see their role in it, then they can't move forward on things. And finances in general are just not talked about in families and in school, financial literacy, all the important things.
Yes. So, what were some of those unique challenges that you faced getting off the ground when starting this?
I think mindset is the most important thing. You can never, ever outperform your mental picture and what you perceive to be a reality for you. But I think that when it's okay to have shiny object syndrome for a short term because you don't know anything. So you're coming into this and like there's so many things coming at you. So I think in the beginning you might do things that maybe don't completely line up with you, but you'll find out as you go. But I think that eventually you do need to narrow it down to
Yeah.
something that you specialize in or that you enjoy. And I think that's a process of talking, especially talking to people. I do think that you should have the can do attitude. The longer you wait to take action, the worse it is. I
Yeah.
really think you got to take action quickly. I think you got to be proactive and just take imperfect action. Literally, you just got to do it, right? You got to take some action and you're going to need to be okay being uncomfortable. And you have to go talk to people. You have to put
Mhm.
yourself out there. Even if you're an introvert, you're going to need to go meet people because If I hadn't opened my house, I would not have pursued that lead, right? I have a house that's a brand new, it's a beautiful 4 bedroom in Texas, same neighborhood as my daughter. I can walk to her house in a few minutes.
Such good stuff you're saying. Wow. It's funny. That just happened to me today too. So everything that you're talking about, it's like, yep. Yes, that is very, very true.
Yeah. You know what,
So
Dee?
good.
You must be a human. I call it being human.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. You're active in communities like Sub 2 and you lead the Creative Women's Zoom. So how did being part of this strong real estate community influence your journey early on?
Every Saturday at 8 o'clock Pacific time from 8 to 9, there's the women's sub two Zoom. And my goal in life, besides scattering sunshine and spreading love everywhere, is to empower women, men too, but I kick the men out of I don't know if you've been on there when I kick them out.
And I haven't seen that yet. Oh,
Yeah, I guess they come anyway. And so I just tell them how much I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll just pick a name. Alex, we love you so much, but you can't be in here. This is for women only, but we love you and we hope to see you around soon, but we need you to leave now. Rocio started the women's sub two thing and then she turned it over to us. So I do the mindset Zooms. So if you're struggling with your mindset, you guys should definitely join us because you're going to love it. And I
yes.
get so many people saying they reach out to me or post messages in the group about how much they love it because I'm sharing. I do call women out if when they say things that are very limiting. It's so cute because Lisa, I called her out on the first one with her permission, and she has just thanked me profusely because it's totally changed the trajectory of her life. She couldn't see her blind spots. We all grow up in dysfunctional families at some level. We just don't
Yes.
know because that's normal to us because that's what we grew up in, right? The language, and there's 2 phrases. You guys write these down. They're my favorite phrases. It's up until now and yet. And so when you say, oh, I've never invested in real estate up until now
Yeah.
or yet, I think that getting into community is crucial, connecting. And I think we should all be cheering each other on. If we can just start cheerleading each other on, believing in each other, encouraging each other, complimenting each other, asking, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What's a problem you're having right now in your business? How can I help you solve that problem and become a problem solver? I
Yeah.
think that especially investing in real estate, it's a very isolating, you're by yourself, solopreneur type thing. It can be very isolating and lonely. And that's why it's really good to get into community because you're going to lose money in real estate. Deals go south. Timelines aren't going to be met. Projects are going to go over things. Partners may quit. Partners may screw you over. How do you know what a good partner is? Like you need to have people that you can have a sounding board to. Cause when you feel like quitting this business, which you're going to feel like quitting a lot in the beginning, especially, and there's even maybe down the road, you need to have somebody ask, do you want me to be the box or do you want me to be the hammer? Like, do you want me to hold space for you like the box or do you want me to bring the toolkit and help you like problem solve this? Like, you know?
I love that. And it's just being there for each other that's so important. Oh my gosh. I love it. I kind of want to take a step back for a moment. So every successful journey, right, has its battles. And so let's dive into some of those moments that really shaped you as an investor, right? It's easy to get sidetracked by new ideas and when you're trying to focus on your main goals. Can you tell us about a time you had to choose between staying focused and chasing something new? Like, what did you learn about picking the right path?
I think that sometimes you come to a crossroads of like, is I'm not making enough money in this business. And so maybe I should get a job to supplement my income. And for me, I chose not to get a job, which can be stressful. I do think having a job and having income coming in is really important because there's 2 types of income. There's active income and passive income. To fund your real estate business, you do need active income coming in on a consistent basis. So if you don't have active, if you think you're going to just quit your job up front and just leap into this, I put the brakes on that because that is really scary. And you need to make sure you have active income coming in so you can fund your real estate business in your life, so you don't become homeless in the process of trying to become an investor. So
Yes.
um, I have in the past had to make that choice, right? And I decided to go all in. Like back in the 2008 market crash for real estate, um, I I had already quit teaching 100%, and I can remember that my sweet mom that I love and adore, because this is so important. Don't listen to advice from other people, even your family members, because they don't know your heart. They don't know your journey. That's really important. I wouldn't even listen to them. You can listen to them, but I'm scared that they'll try to dissuade you from your goals and your dreams because they've been conditioned their whole lives to have a job, and very few people are investors. And so it scares them because they've been told their whole lives the school system is set up for you to be an employee and to be a worker and to kind of be a bot for a big company. And so they don't even realize that this is bred into them and ingrained in them. So they don't even know they're dream stealers. And I can remember, so the market crashed, and I had a kid in college at George Washington University, a kid that just went to rehab that was very expensive, and another kid that I had just pulled out and put into a small private school. My overhead was very high at the time. My monthly overhead was more than most people make in a year, the average person. And I remember my sweet mom, and when I was complaining to her and about my situation that I was lamenting and trying to figure out what to do. And she said, "Well, it's a good thing you have your teaching credential. So you can go back and get your so you
Yeah.
can go back and get your job back, right?"
Yes.
And I did say to my mom, I said, "Mom, I used to make $50,000 a year as a teacher, and my monthly outgo is more than that. That's going to be a problem for me right now. I have a kid in college, a kid in rehab, and a kid in a small private school. Plus we actually live somewhere and we eat and we have cars and
Yeah.
And so I think that we have to be careful who we take advice from.
Yes, absolutely.
And so make sure the people that when you're experiencing problems and you're going to have problems that need solving, Pace says that the bigger problems you solve, the more you get paid. And so I had a problem that needed to be solved. And so I became an expert in short sales. And that was the short sale like heyday. I would after I'd worked all day and then I had a kid, right? Still at home. So I'd do mom stuff. And then after he went to bed, I'd go back to the office till like midnight, 2 in the morning, and then get back up at 6 and start the day over again. But I became proficient and excelled at helping sellers solve their problem of they don't have any equity in their house. They owe more than their house is worth. And I became really compassionate and professional at sitting across the table and explaining your house is going down in value every day. So when this first offer comes in and you're aghast at how low it is, just remember that the next one's going to come in lower.
Yes.
And so I got really good at holding sellers' hands through a devastating and trying time for them. And then those were my best years. I never sold more houses than during those times because I became really compassionate and empathetic realtor to help them navigate a stressful situation, which is kind of what we do in sub two, right? We help people who can't sell their homes and are in this difficult situation and they need a creative solution to get them from point A to point B. And so
Speaking of the community, how did finding and engaging with strong real estate community like this change the game for you now, especially?
I've had so many incredible individuals on my Born to Be Brave YouTube channel. Like even Kevin Cho just flew into town and he just texted me and he's like, "Mama Lo, I want to get together while I'm in town." And there's a meetup. That's the thing that Jason was talking about on my show the other day is that if I see that big people are coming into town, like that have been successful already in sub two and Gator, and they're coming to speak, I message them and I offer to pick them up at the airport. I pick them up at the airport and I get to know them and they come on my show a lot of times. And like Kevin spends the night in my house when he's been here. And so it's totally transformed my life. And then what's so cute is you become friends with everyone.
You are too sweet. Oh, I love it.
We can help each other, not just like making money, which is great to make money with your friends, okay, and to invest and to have each other look at your deal and say, "I was going to buy another house in the same neighborhood." Jason is like, "You could make this work, but this is not a good deal." In this market, you don't need to make this work. I think it's good because I learn more ideas of what's possible out there. I become friends with people. I get to find out if my deals are deals or not because my friends are really good underwriters and they have a second or third set of eyes on it. And they're like, yeah, I don't think so, Colleen.
You mentioned your show, Born to be Brave, and you empower women. So tell us more about that mission. What drives that passion to help others find their courage and invest?
I've spent a lot of money. I've joined very expensive mentorships and transformational coaches that are, $30,000 for 6 months at a time. I've gone to the top things and been so blessed to be in these small rooms and I've learned so much. I've read a lot of books, but I've paid a lot of money to go to transform my life. I really believe not everyone has the money and the resources to do that. So I create content to make it so people can access it for free. The things that I've learned, the thing I like about YouTube is it's completely free for people to access it. The other thing is I have two granddaughters and I want to document that anything is possible. If their old grandma can do this, that they can do anything in their lives. And I want them to be able to be like, my grandma, she did that. I didn't know how to turn a computer on 3 years ago. That's how tech illiterate I was. I have a recording studio now at my house. I interviewed Pace Morby. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, right? And the interview with Pace went so well. He's like, Colleen, you can interview any of my friends. Like, I'll help you interview any of my friends. And Kevin Cho told me, go through my show and anyone you want to interview, I'll connect you with them and help you. I just know if you have a good heart, a desire, like I have a really high desire to help people because I've been really poor. I've been miserable. I've been unhappy. And if I can help one person, just one human person have a better life because they came in contact with me, I'm just going to be so happy. And I don't know who that one is, but I know that on YouTube, they can find it. That's why I'm like, I'll help with the women's Saturday mornings. I usually paddleboard Saturday mornings. And for 1 year, I decided I'm going to give up paddleboarding Saturday morning with my friends. For 1 year, I'm committing to 8 a.m. to be on those Zooms to help women because that's what I have a book coming out later about not asking permission to invest because I feel like women ask for permission. So I'm giving you permission right now. If you're listening to this interview, you have permission to live the life you love, to invest in real estate, to be a money lender, to go on a vacation, go get a massage, go on a retreat by yourself, write a book, start a podcast or a YouTube channel. I'm giving you permission. You don't need permission. You're not a little girl anymore. It's time to take the reins. Don't second guess and start educating yourself. We really undervalue ourselves as women. It's time. You can learn all this stuff. And while you're learning, get with somebody who has integrity and that is ahead of you on the path that you feel comfortable with and do it together in the beginning.
Yes. Oh, yes. And so, if you had to start your real estate journey all over again today, knowing what you know now, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, I would find Pace Morby way sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think luckily he was the first investment group I joined. I hear about horror stories of other groups. I would have to say that entering the Pace Morby universe, like that, hit that whole world of his, I believe that every person, whatever your goals and dreams are, you can fit them inside of the Pace Morby dream structure, right? Whatever it is, if you just start showing up to his activities and his Zooms, then you put yourself out there. You have to do the work. You have to take the uncomfortable action and you have to maybe let go of a lot of baggage you're holding on to, right? And there was a picture Pace posted with Maddie. She's helping the girl that lives in the shelter. I've become friends with
Wait.
her. I text her and check on her and the package, the present she's holding, I sent that to the meetup. I couldn't go take the present I had for her. So I typed in the sub 2 communities, all of them, like, is anyone going up there? Because I want this present to go to her. So beautiful Jackie took it up to her, but Pace asked her why she was holding my package and then her bag. She said, when you're homeless and you live in a shelter, you can never let go of your bags because people will steal from you. I had a son that was homeless for a long time and he works at a homeless shelter right now too as the facilities manager. And that's the one thing they hold on to their stuff. But what is the baggage we're holding on to, the limiting beliefs and the things that are holding us back? That's what Pace was talking about in that post. What is symbolically holding you back from moving forward. And so I would get into community if I was starting over and get on the payment plan if you can't afford it, one lump sum, and then just start going to the meetups and then save your money. I would get some kind of a side hustle to get into community because you really need to be in the community. I would start going to all the meetups and make friends and figure out what are your strengths. You can pick up people at the airport. You don't need to be talented. You need a car with some gas in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just have a good heart. And
Yes.
if you don't have a good heart, it might be hard to connect with people.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. You know, how can listeners connect with you, learn more about Born to be Brave, and follow your journey?
Well, my show's called Born to be Brave with Colleen Low. On Instagram, I'm Colleen Low underscore. And on Facebook, I'm Colleen Barker Low. But the thing that can really help me is I have 400 subscribers right now. And I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes, that's amazing.
If people want to subscribe, but the thing is to comment and share, that's how you can get a hold of me.
My gosh, Colleen, this was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for all the valuable insight that you're so kind and loving to share with us. Truly inspiring. And be the connection family. If you took something powerful away from Colleen's story today, a key point, that big aha moment, please light up the comments below. And don't forget to share this episode with other people you know who were also born to be brave. You can always be the connection. Thank you again, Colleen, for sharing your time and your incredible energy with us today. All right, everyone. Remember to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss another amazing episode with incredible people just like Colleen. We'll see you guys on the next one.